Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio. We're back in a sequential approach to fundamental snare drum, and we've moved on to page 33, and this gives us a solo that we're going to play called Out on a Rim. And you look at it if you have the book. Of course, you need to have the book to go through these lessons with me. But as you look at it, you can see that it's written on two lines. This is kind of the beginning of a concept that's become really big in percussion called multiple percussion. Now this is very simple. We're only using two different sounds. We're using the rim sound, indicated by an X on the top line all the way through, and then the regular drum sound, indicated by regular note heads on the bottom line all the way through. So we're using two different sound surfaces. So in a very elementary way, this is an introduction to the idea of multiple percussion. Now, multiple percussion is the idea of using multiple or many different percussion instruments and sound surfaces to create music. So in a way, the drum set is a multiple percussion instrument, but there's a huge body of music written for multiple percussion, and each piece is going to use a different combination of percussion instruments. And I don't want to get into any more on this, but this little solo is kind of getting your feet wet there, and there'll be other solos as we move along that will use a drum, two drums maybe, and a drum and a cymbal, or different combinations like that. So just a few little technical things before I play this for you. First of all, notice the dynamics. And there's a form to this piece. The first 8 measures are kind of the theme of the piece, and it's all forte. And then there's a 2-measure transition of where you're just playing 16th notes on the rim, and you do a decrescendo down to mezzo piano. Then there's the middle section there where you're mostly playing on the rim, but you're bringing the right hand down to play different accented notes on the snare drum. And all the notes on the snare drum during that section will be played with the right hand. It all works out. I didn't put any sticking in here because if you just use our basic sticking system that we've been talking about, all the stickings will work out fine. The last 4 bars is very similar to the beginning. It's kind of a recapitulation, a return to the original theme that ends the piece. Okay? Now, here's another thing to think about. When I play on the drum and when I go to playing on the rim, I'm just going to simply move my stick forward this way and play out in front of me. Or if I'm playing, or it's very easy to just move back and forth from rim to drum and drum to rim. Don't try to do it back here someplace. It's very awkward. So just go ahead and just move your hands forward to play the rim. So let me play it for you, and then we will maybe talk a little more about it at the end of it. I'm going to play it fairly quickly. You don't have to play it this fast, certainly not as you begin to practice it. But I want to play it at kind of a performance tempo so you get the gist of what you're shooting for and what you want this to sound like. Okay, so here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And All right, so that's out on a rim. Okay, now some of the measures are more difficult than others, obviously. So when you're practicing it, you want to put more time in on the measures that are difficult. And there's a couple measures that are particularly tricky for most students, and it's the third line from the bottom, the first two measures, where you play. Okay? So, the way to practice that is to slow it down. I like to break it up into one count increments. So the first count, one eanda, is just one hand, your right hand on the drum, your left hand on the rim. One eanda. The next one is going to be all rims except the and of two. So practice those separately. And then the rest of the measure is very easy. You just play on the drum on count 3 and the rest is the rim. So if you break it down and practice the different components and then try to put it all together. Okay, and practice that multiple times until that becomes very easy for you. And the second measure, of course, is the same as the first there. So any other measures like that give you trouble, just slow them way down and just look at them a little bit and think, what's really going on here, and break it into little one measure or one count chunks. Notice too, in the fifth measure from the beginning, I play the rim with the left hand. Okay, if you try to play that with the right, you're going to have to do two strokes, two strokes with the same hand. There's no reason to do that. So the sticking is very, very natural and very, very easy. All right, so have fun with this one. It's, really the first real solo in the book that you could feel like you could maybe even play on a little recital or play for other people. So have fun with it and don't let it frustrate you. And hopefully you get it down pretty soon and are able to go on. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.